Right guys, what's up? TZ3 back on the YouTube. It's probably been 6 months, so yeah, apologies for that. Been going through some funny times, thinking about where the career's going. But yeah, to set the scene, this video is going to be about the truth about self-employment, the truth about going freelance, you know, for people that want to do their own thing, that think they've got a skill and live on your own terms. And it might not be what you think. So I am currently 2 years into my freelance journey. And yeah, I'd say it's probably gone as I thought it would in terms of the effort I've put in and the results I've received. Ultimately, the game of freelance, the game of self-employment is over your whole career, you're going to get out what you put in. The last 2 years, probably an average income. You know, some months scraping to get by, some months better than others. But that's just the game, honestly. For me, the hard part is managing myself and getting myself to do the things I know I should be doing, such as outreach, such as networking, such as being social, talking to new companies. You know, us creatives, we never want to do the business part, right? We want to grab the camera, we want to shoot some cool photos, we want to take it back to the computer, do a bit of editing, and then, you know, thousands land in the bank. But, you know, the more you do this, the more you realize that rarely happens. Whilst, you know, when you get good, a lot of your work will come from referrals and word of mouth. But what you realize is to have a strong business and to be comfortable and confident in the knowledge that you are going to make enough next month to pay your bills and to live a decent life, you have to have a system to generate that business. And that's, you know, what I'm still working out. Like, my portfolio is pretty good. Website could do with some work, but, you know, until you have control over your level of income and your control over how many leads you're getting in, you'll always be confused. And that's probably the biggest thing I've found with self-employment, is that everything's up to you. You know, whether you do your taxes on time, whether you do outreach every morning, whether you go to the gym in the morning, or whether you start work, or whether you know, stay up late working, or whether you can even get up early. Because for me, yeah, I've never been a morning person, and when you haven't got a boss telling you to wake up and it's just you, you know, sometimes you just think, well, what's the problem? You know, I'll stay in bed a couple more hours. I'm resting, right? I'm resting. But ultimately that doesn't get the results. So yeah, as I said, the key part of being freelance and being self-employed, whether you're doing photography, videography, graphic design, is doing the work. That means getting a good website, getting a good brand, and having a system that's going to get more work over and over. You know, and that's obviously easier said than done. But yeah, when it is good, you know, it's good. Projects are fun. You know, you're using your camera to make money. You're taking pictures and videos of music events and athletes and businesses, and, you know, people are enjoying your work. It's good. They're paying you on time. We'll get to that. You get to travel places. You get hotel paid for, you know. But then a lot of times that can be over glamorized, because in reality, do you want to be traveling to new hotels every day? You're starting to think, is this really for me? But yeah, when it is good, it's good. You know, flexibility, you get to be creative, so you're fulfilled in that sense. And when the money's good, you know, it is good per unit of time. You know, I've got paid £500 for 3 hours of photography before, you know. At my old job, when I was on £9 an hour, of course it's way better, because then you can do that and then you can spend the rest of your week thinking about what else you want to do. But yeah, and that brings us on to when it's bad, it's pretty bad. And that means dry months, no leads coming in, clients might be picky with your work, making you do 1,000 revisions. You'll be up until 4 a.m. just so that they'll pay your invoice the next week. unpaid invoices, chasing invoices, which I'm struggling with now. I'm owed 3,500 from last couple of months, and that can obviously be frustrating, especially when you've got a bit of a mad personality like mine. You know, you think of certain things you want to do. But yeah, you just got to keep moving. You got to be consistent. You got to be persistent with these clients, because a lot of times, you know, there's finance teams, there's your middleman, and you gotta just keep at it until you get paid. And obviously, the more you get into business, the more you realize you should have systems in place, such as taking a deposit up front. Yeah, when it's bad, it can get bad. You know, months where you barely make a dime, and you start to think, you know, is this really for me? And that's when the shiny object syndrome comes in, and you start to think, wow, he's doing agency. Oh, maybe I should do that. Or he's doing e-commerce. Maybe I could sell some products, you know, next Christmas or this Christmas. Maybe I can make loads doing that. But then you've spent like your last 5 years building this skill set. You'd be mad to blindly jump into a complete new industry where you have zero expertise and expect to make way more than you're making now. So ultimately, the guy who does the best stays in that industry for a long period of time, and then new opportunities come as he becomes competent at each level. So videographers, for example, you know, you might start doing little local business videos. Okay, that's cool. And then after a while, you know, you might start bringing in a crew to do bigger commercials. And then eventually you're just the director, or you're the owner, and you have a producer do all of it. You know, there's always a level you can go up in each industry. Problem us freelancers have is like, do we promote ourselves as a company or as a one-man band, right? Because if you're a one-man band, yes, you're more flexible, it's easier, taxes are easier, but then clients, do they really take you seriously, you know? And that's the problem for me now. It's like, well, maybe I'm at the point where I need to position myself as a company just so I can get bigger jobs. Being freelance is a game of managing yourself, managing your emotions, because you are the business. You know, you're thinking about things 24/7, new avenues to go down, new products to launch, new services to provide. You're thinking about the edit you got to do, you're thinking about the money you haven't been paid. You know, it's constant. So if you're thinking about going freelance, thinking about going self-employed, you know, definitely consider you'll go through a lot of headache. It's all about managing yourself. Can you do the task you set out for yourself? Can you decide on a lane and commit to it? Can you avoid distractions? Because trust me, when you're at home and you wake up and your office is there, but you have infinite opportunity. You can literally do whatever you want to do. You can watch YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels. But is that really pushing the bottom line? Is that going to provide the life you want in the future? No, it just doesn't. You know, I've watched thousands of hours on YouTube, and I look back and I think, you know, there are some good bits in there. A lot of it's, you know, podcasts, whatever. But you have to think, what are the actions I need to do today to move the needle from here to here? And then after a year, you know, you've come full circle and you made a whole lot of progress. It's the compound effect, you know, with content, with outreach, with clients. The more you do, the better you get, the more you enjoy it, the more you want to do it. And then the results come in, you get testimonials, people like what you do, they tell their friends. You know, it's the circle of business. But look, I'm just talking from my experience, how I found it the first 2 years. I've had a decent variety of projects, some decently paid projects, because, you know, you can waste a week on a £300 project when you thought it was going to take a day. And then suddenly you're eating into your own profits, and now at the end of the month you haven't got enough to pay rent because you took that low-paying project. So, you know, you're going to disappoint some people, you're going to have to say no a lot. As much as you want to say yes to everything, you've got to say no to almost everything. I feel like if you can just do the right thing for 6 months, you know, you'll be ahead of most people. So for me, 2024, I got to do what I haven't been doing, which is biz dev, outreach. I got to become a hustler. I got to become a salesman. I can't hide away behind my cool little videos anymore, because that's not what's gonna pay for my parents' gifts at Christmas. It's not. Life's expensive. Everything's expensive. You got tax to pay, bills. You want to go on holiday? That's another £5,000. You want to go do activities? That's another 300 quid. Like, everything's expensive. So if you're not charging what you're worth and you're not improving your value, then you're gonna be fucked. That's TZ3. I'm gonna wrap this one up because I've been talking way too long. 2024. Document everything. Outreach, biz dev, tidy the whole brand, streamline the website, our services, build our packages out. Winter in the UK is horrible, if you can relate. Ever since November, I've thought about jumping off the ground floor. But yeah, we got to get through it. I wish you well. Any videographers, photographers out there, entrepreneurs, shout me. Good to talk about anything and everything. Turning 30 next year, which is pretty crazy to say. But yeah, I just want to document the journey, film everything, show what I'm working on, and hopefully that'll, at least attract a few people that are doing what I'm doing, or have visions of a brighter future like we all want. I had a bit of a headache today, but getting through it. Might go for a little jog in a minute before the sun goes down. And that's life, just keep moving, enjoy your hobbies. Clock runs too fast, so be present if you can. I know it's hard. Just breathe and do what you gotta do. TZ3, I've been talking way too much. Peace.